The Mishimoto Performance Intercooler shown here in silver will be for the 2015 and newer 2.7 and 3.5 liter EcoBoost owners who are looking to keep charge temps down and performance up by going with one of the largest options available to fit in the factory location. Now this particular option will feature that sleek silver finish again, all for the mid $800 price point. Install according to the site, guys, is gonna get a middle of the road 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter here and a couple of hours or so to complete from start to finish. But if you hang out with me for a little bit, we'll show you how it's done. So right off the bat here, guys, I'm gonna tell you that one of the best things I personally have done with my EcoBoost powered truck was replace the undersized, wimpy factory intercooler with a much larger unit. Now we even did some back-to-back testing on the dyno and found that with that larger intercooler in place, those charge temps remained consistently lower, and as a result, the power didn't fall off dramatically like it did with that stock intercooler, which got heat soaked, as they are notorious to do. But let's get into some of the finer details here with the Mishimoto option in regards to your build and benefit. And right up front, guys, you are going to be replacing again that stock smaller core and plastic end tank setup with a 100% aluminum TIG welded intercooler finished in the sleek silver option. Keep in mind, guys, there is also a stealth black option available from Mishimoto here on the site. Can be had for roughly the same price as this. Now the Mishi is going to increase your finned surface area, that's basically this area right here, by roughly 163%, and will increase your internal core volume by 77%. This puppy is big. Now as a result, guys, this will drop the ambient air temps or intake temps by roughly 10 degrees, and it's also going to prove to be less prone to heat soak like that factory option we just talked about. Now I'm also really digging the fact that Mishi has included a 1/4 inch NPT drain plug here on the bottom that is going to help eliminate the sometimes problematic occurrence of condensation building up in the stock intercooler, I should say, and that has led to random misfire issues, mainly on the earlier EcoBoost trucks, but you know, certainly newer guys aren't immune to it either. Now this guy does mount in the factory location here, gang, so there's nothing crazy needed for the installation. However, one thing I do want to point out is that owners who might be considering a winch mount or winch mount bumper, this intercooler might not be the best way to roll because it will inevitably be in the way of the factory or Mishimoto intercooler here. And if that is the case, you might want to consider a different intercooler option that's going to move the intercooler itself from the factory location down in the bumper up into the upper grill area, which you can find a few here on the site. I also want to point out that the Mishimoto intercooler is designed to work with the factory hot and cold side piping without issue, in addition to Mishimoto's hot and cold side piping as well. And you can use this thing both with your factory bypass or blow-off valve, in addition to an aftermarket option that installs in the factory manner. Finally here, the Mishimoto is backed by a limited lifetime warranty in case you run into any issues and does not require a tune to be installed. But now let's touch on the installation as promised earlier. And again, the site is gonna go soft 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter here in about 2 hours or so to complete from start to finish. But to give you a better idea of how this thing all comes together, here's my buddy Andrew with a detailed walkthrough along with a quick tool breakdown.
Tools required for this job: 3/8 inch ratchet, 1/4 inch ratchet, 10mm wrench, 13mm socket, 10mm socket, 8mm socket, 7mm socket, trim panel removal tool, flathead, extension, 1/4 inch extension, and optional are a 3/8 impact.
All right, so your first step is to remove your intercooler boots from the hot side of the intercooler, and these are held on by 7mm worm gear type clamps. Loosen them up and move them towards the middle of the boot. And we're gonna pop this boot off as well. We're gonna move on to the other side of the intercooler. So now we're gonna be removing this clip that's holding on your charge pipe that goes into the intake out of the cold side of the intercooler. And it should just pop right out. And then after that, we're going to be taking off the clamp that's holding onto your factory blow-off valve. You just twist it and pull back. And then the last step is to unplug your electrical connection right here. Now you're ready to remove your 13mm bolts that are underneath holding your intercooler core in. All right, so there are a couple clips holding the wiring harness onto the radiator. Just use a panel removal tool or a flathead and just get behind it and pry up. And now we're ready to transfer some parts over to our new intercooler. All right, so the next step is to move a couple of our factory parts over to our new Mishimoto intercooler. To start with, we're going to be moving our rubber bushings from the top over to the new one. Same thing over here. To that one, and we're going to flip it upside down, take out our bracket, remove these guys, put them on our new one, followed by our bracket. All right, so the next step is to remove our factory blow-off valve. It's on there by an 8mm bolt. Just one. I'm going to take it off. And make sure you still have your O-ring in there. And we're going to move this over to the new intercooler. And it kind of threads on there as well. You'll see the threads and you'll see where it locks into place. Just find that detent or hole. And I'll go just like that. Now before we do that, there is a bracket we have to install from Mishimoto. All right, so next we're going to be installing the bracket for our factory blow-off valve. And these are two 10mm bolts. It is threaded on the intercooler side. And I'm going to loosely put these on to ensure that I'm able to line up the bracket on the other side for the blow-off valve. So we're going to be using this inside hole. And on the back side, put a lock washer and nut. Use a 10mm wrench on the bottom and a 10mm socket on the top. Don't go too hard because this is aluminum. Okay, so the next step is to remove this outer piece of the grill vent because your Mishimoto intercooler is a little bit larger than stock. Now what I found is if you just pull up a little bit and put your fingers behind here, you'll be able to pop these clips right out. Now there are a couple on the side here. And that's going to give you all the room you need for your new intercooler. All right guys, now it's time to install it. Be a little patient. There are those existing pipes in the way. They may trip you up a little bit, but you'll get it. All right, so now that you have your intercooler in place, we are going to start reconnecting our charge pipe, blow-off valve, electrical connection over there, and the hot side on the other side. All right, and just reconnect your electrical connection here. All right, now we can work on our hot side and get our boots back on. I'm gonna push these stock pipes that are coming off the turbo out of the way. Now you're gonna wanna make sure you clock your hose clamp the right way so you can take it on and off easy for maintenance down the road or replacement. All right, I like to start from the top to the bottom just to make your life a little easier and give you some room. Now we're going to tighten the intercooler side down. Move over to our pipe coming from the turbo. This one may be a little tougher to get on. With a little finesse, you can get it. Just go ahead and tighten it down and repeat the process for the other turbo. All right, so now that we're on the bottom side, again, put the bottom intercooler piping on. And then you're gonna wanna tighten these down. All right, that's gonna wrap up my install of the Mishimoto Performance Intercooler. For all things F-150, keep it here at AmericanTrucks.com.